What's the best Christmas present you've received? Before we start with the first story, please hit a subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Number 10. I was 7 years old in ICU with pneumonia. It was horrible timing because Christmas was that week. The nurses brought in a massive television with a Nintendo GameCube hooked up to it. The only game I played was Mario Sunshine the entire time I was in the hospital. I loved that game so much. It was so colorful, just super exciting to play since I didn't even know the game existed. It is still my favorite Mario game ever made, but I'm biased. Voila, I made it out of the hospital just a few days before Christmas, and on Christmas Day, we went to my auntie's house. We started opening gifts and they got me my very own GameCube, but it didn't appear I had any games for it. They tricked me and hid the other gift they bought. It was Mario Sunshine. I never ever had tears of joy, but when I opened these gifts I couldn't help but cry. I was so surprised and so happy. I've still never experienced the same emotions I had on that day. Number 9. I was in high school. Ocarina of Time had come out in November, and I wanted it so badly for Christmas. I got up Christmas morning, opened my gifts, and it wasn't there. Then my dad pointed out a small package he had hidden behind a tree under the tree skirt, in the back. Opened it, and there it was. Ocarina of Time. My dad had to go to 6 to 7 different stores when he was traveling on business to find that. Played it non-stop over break. Makes me love my dad more every time I think about it. Number 8. When I was in the 8th grade, my band teacher called my mom and told her that I was talented and that if I wanted to continue to play, my current instrument would hold me back. At the time, I played my dad's trumpet, and it was 30 years old. That Christmas/birthday/the next Christmas, my gift was my trumpet. I had to agree to play it all the way through high school, and it was difficult for my parents to afford it. I believe it cost about $700, $800. It cost enough that we timed the purchase for the same time we were going to a neighboring state that had no sales tax just to save the $100. I still remember the rain in the parking lot as I walked to the car, clutching the blue case to my chest. It was the most expensive thing I'd owned or would own for a long time. Band got me up in the morning. It made it so I went to school even when other kids did. It gave me something to work for. It gave me camaraderie and made me depend on others as others depended on me. It gave me pride. It showed me the correlation between hard work and reward. It kept me in college when I may have otherwise chickened out, given up and gone home. There is no rush like running onto a field with 30,000 people screaming in the stands, and music was the only thing that would ever give me that feeling. I'm 33 now, and I don't play that much anymore, but that trumpet, a music stand, and a book of exercises still sits next to my desk. I hope to allow my son to play it someday. The trumpet band, music in general, changed my life. It made me a better person, and it made me who I am today. I've posted this before, so if it looks familiar, that's why. Also, since I posted this the first time, I've joined my local community band, and I'm playing again. It makes my heart happy. Number 7. When I was younger, I was obsessed with the Spice Girls, and my grandma gave me a poster of them one year for Christmas. My parents are divorced and we moved a lot with my mom, but no matter how many bedrooms I always had my Spice Girls poster hanging up on my door. One of the last times we moved, my mom was packing up my room and was trying to get my poster down, and she ripped it. No, not terrible, but then she threw it away without my knowing. I found out and cried for days. Then, with it being many years later, I could never find the same one for sale on eBay, Amazon, nothing. I told my Niall the story like one time, and 2 years ago she found it and gifted it to me for Christmas. It's the first time I ever cried over a present like that. I still need to frame it, but it's one of my prized things now. Number 6. RAM upgrade. I was a budding PC gamer but knew jack all about how computers worked. My grandfather, retired computer engineer, gave me a RAM upgrade and taught me how to install it safely and explained what it was going to do for me. Now I work in IT and still find computers fascinating, and I still play a ton of games. Thanks, Grandpa. Number 5. I was probably 8 or 9 years old and I got this toy truck that would respond to voice commands. I played with that thing all the time because it was fun. It lit up, made noise, and drove forward. Over time, just stopped working. But my grandma wouldn't throw away any toys us kids had. After my grandma passed away in 2017, I was trying to keep busy and decided to clean up the toy box. I opened up the battery compartment, and there was a note in my grandpa's handwriting saying, "Mary Lou, don't replace batteries. This thing is annoying." Bill, I replaced the batteries, and it still works. Knowing that my grandpa took the batteries out and there was nothing wrong with it made me smile. I miss my grandparents so much. Number 4. I don't even know if it's the best present, but just one of those I'll never forget. My dad and I have an extremely distant relationship. He was never an affectionate or emotional person. All birthdays, celebrations, events, etc. went to my mom to organize. It was just simply not a task he was involved in. He didn't give gifts or engage in the theatrics of any of it, and I can't blame him. He is an immigrant, lived a very hard life, and culturally speaking, this is just how it was for him. One Christmas, I was probably like 10 or 11. I noticed among all the other presents I had from my mom and other family, there was an actual present from my dad addressed to me. I opened it and it was like this child's picture book, not a baby book, but definitely aimed for about age 7 to 8 and way too young for me. It was just shocking to me that he would first of all care about getting me a present at all and secondly choose this child's book out of all the things he could gotten. I realized at 10 years old that my dad genuinely had no idea what to get me, but wanted to get me something. He only knew that I loved to read and read books all day long, so he got me a book, even though he had no idea what level reading I was on. Maybe that is not a very good story or makes him seem bad, but it will always stick with me. He is such a non-sentimental and stoic person. I can imagine him going to a bookstore, choosing this very cutesy, colorful book with me in mind, and actually giving it to me as a gift. But he did. He wanted to give me something in his awkward way and tried his best. Number 3. My first Christmas after my mom had left to be with the love of her life. It was just me and my dad our first Christmas together 4 months after she left in our little apartment with a small plastic tree we both decorated. I didn't expect much. I remember on the Microsoft Sidewinder reel and pedals come Christmas morning there it was and I got a copy of Need for Speed and Lifesaver storybook. I knew everything was going to be okay. I still had the Sidewinder, the game, and the book as a reminder of our first Christmas. I got one of those storybooks a few weeks ago in a care package from him, and it made me tear up and think about that Christmas and how much he sacrificed as a single father. Number 2. My mom passed from cancer this year. She had been stage 4 for 11 years and passed at 55 years old, so pretty young. Last year, Christmas was really emotional as things were taking a turn for the worse. My mom made me a large shadow box with ticket stubs she had saved from every concert we went to since I was a kid, both big fans of music. Mr. Dress-Up, Pearl Jam, White Stripes, etc. Not only had she saved these over the years, she went online and got postcards, buttons, and patches from the specific tour dates we'd attended to go with the stubs. The moment I unwrapped it and realized what it was, I burst into tears and cried for a good while. It was a very heavy moment and one of the best gifts I've ever been given. Number 1. My family was abusive and poor. Growing up, I always kind of hated Christmas time because it just sort of highlighted how my own life was. Well, one year after I moved away to college, I was scheduled to work Christmas Day, since I was a resident advisor. A student who had been evicted from housing for selling hard drugs came after me and attacked me. The school told me I should leave campus until the police caught the kid. I didn't have anywhere to go, so I called my best friend. Her and her dad drove all the way to my school on Christmas Eve to get me. When I woke up, I discovered that my friend's mom had somehow conjured up a full stocking and a couple small gifts. It was the most amazing gift because I had never had a good Christmas, and then her mom just went so above and beyond to make me feel loved. Alright folks, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us today. If you like more of this, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your own story or thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next video.